have increased from 430 touch points to close to around 1150 plus touch points now. That's a significant jump, and we are covered geographically well in the country today. So I think the service network is one of the major factors where we focus heavily. We have multiple modes of training. We have e-learning, we have virtual classrooms, we have physical classroom training.
And the very first year, we sold about 16 trucks in a year. As the business is growing, we are growing with the facility.
Our customers are always our partners. Financiers know when they finance an Eicher vehicle, their money is safe.
All the other companies which I have and I'm dealing with, Eicher is the best.
In the current business scenario, the role of OEMs doesn't end with selling trucks. It actually begins with that by ensuring that the after sales supersedes the selling experience. Good morning, friends, and welcome to part 1 of a 2-episode exciting feature of Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions, where we explore the role of an OEM in ensuring that trucks perform beyond the expectations of the transporter, and the person we are interviewing is an industry veteran in the after-sales universe. This episode has 2 more features that stand out. The first is that we shot this interaction at one of the dealer facility of the OEM, and more impressive is that the dealership is being managed alongside with his father by a young lad who is equally excited about after-sales service. So here we are at Prem Auto Enterprises in Agra, part of the Prem Group and a leading dealer for Eicher truck and bus. Along with the Eicher team, we were accorded a warm welcome by Mr. Paras Utkarsh and his son Utkarsh, who also took us around the sizable and impressive facility. Later in the episode, we will also interact with Mr. Paras Agarwal and Utkarsh and learn more about the facility and his expansion plans that would further strengthen the Eicher after-sales network. But in the spotlight today is someone who has transformed the after-sales network of Eicher truck and bus. He has been seen regularly inaugurating service facilities across the length and breadth of India. However, cutting the ribbon is just the optics of his role. He is a master planner when it comes to setting up and scaling up the Eicher service network. And we are delighted to indulge in a candid conversation with Ramesh Rajagopalan, whose designation reads as Executive Vice President and Head, Customer Services, Network Strategy and Retail Excellence at Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles. However, he is someone whose efforts, understanding and designation surpass the designation by a long way. He is an on-ground person who wouldn't hesitate to get under a truck to set it right. So let's dive into an interaction with Ramesh Rajagopalan. So Ramesh, to start with, tell us about your journey in the service industry. How long has this tough role been?
For quite some time, almost more than 3 decades now. So since 1990 to be precise. So that's been the journey. All along I've been with after sales, aftermarket, closer to customers.
But tell me, over the years, with trucks getting better, has this role become easier or it's become more challenging?
I would say it's exciting. So initially it is difficult to get into this, but I think as the industry is evolving, I think it's pretty much exciting. In the words, it's getting a little bit, I would say, something new all the time keeps happening. Nothing is set. And in the early days, it's more of when things go wrong, when the vehicle has to have a service attention, that's where you come in. Today, the expectations, the ecosystem is so evolved now. I think everybody needs their attention on the uptime, and then it's pushing limits all the time, from the end customers to the vehicle owners, back to the OEMs. I think there's a lot of push-pull happening there, where in a good way, in the sense that we need to ensure that the trucks are meant to do a job of moving people, moving goods, and then the buses moving people. I think as long as there's a time involved in that, I think that has to be respected. And that's where the opportunity to improve continuously. So that gives us the, energy to stay awake every day, and then the kick to put the things a little bit in the structure, yeah.
Ramesh, back in the days, service was considered a weak link for Eicher. Many transporters used to say that, okay, while the truck is good, the service was lacking in some areas. Yeah. Has that changed now, and what steps have gone into it?
A lot of changes have come. We have come a long way, and I think rightfully so, because the commercial vehicle, the business operates in the way. This truck requires all the time some maintenance as it runs. and customer earns, and there are periodic maintenance intervals which are scheduled. In simple terms, the expectation of customer is give me a truck which gives a very less amount of service attention need. So the designed scheduled maintenance needs have to be very limited. No unplanned stops. Give me service wherever I need and at a very competitive cost. And whenever there is a problem, whatever it takes, put me back on road. These are some of the very fundamental expectation, I think. And the key thing is the way the trucks themselves are designed to last longer, reliable, and at the same time we also ensure that a lot of design thinking goes into the building of the truck, where we have moved from a early day service interval of 15,000 kilometers, once in 20,000 kilometers. Today we talk about 100,000, 120,000 kilometers intervals. For a truck like this or this size, I think for the load it's getting applied. That's a huge technological advancement which we have been there. Second focus area is on how often you have to attend to a vehicle. So from the design stage, it ensures that there's a minimum downtime can happen. Second is whenever there is a service requirement, can we ensure that it takes the least efforts and least time to get the vehicle repaired and fixed on the road. So a lot of focus on serviceability, maintainability also goes into the design. Notwithstanding these two which goes into the vehicle itself, then comes the network, the service and parts network. These trucks run across the length and breadth of the country, and where it becomes pertinent that breakdowns are unavoidable. At the same time, the planned maintenance needs also have to be taken care of in a good way. So dealership network becomes the backbone of the whole service and parts ecosystem. There, a lot of focus have happened in the last few years. I would say last 5 years, we have increased from 430 touch points to close to around 1150 plus touch points now. That's a significant jump. And we are covered geographically well in the country today. And more important is we have a reach of 150 kilometers when you have an authorized network point there. So I think the service network is one of the major factors where we focused heavily, and that sets the base. And what goes into the setup, like you see the setup which we are sitting now, one of the state-of-the-art setups we have where you have the facilities, everything which can take care of the trucks and buses. Yeah.
So while the geographically you have reached out, now truck technology has grown over the years. You have your emission norms to deal with. How do you manage the training of the people who are actually going to handle these trucks? What is the network for that?
See, training, I mean, people become the most important factor in this. I think that's very important. At the same time, we have a complete methodology which we ensure that all the technicians out here, whosoever is interacting the vehicle, who's touching the vehicle, so they get trained adequately. It starts from fundamentally we have a Pro Excellence Training Academy at our headquarters in the plant itself. That's the starting point. Besides that, we have rolled out multiple regional competence centers. We have 12 of them, and that covers the geography part of it and the language part of it.
Okay.
And we have multiple modes of training. We have e-learning, we have virtual classrooms, we have physical classroom training. We have 12 mobile training vans which goes from place to place to ensure that dealership technicians are trained and taken care of. Talking about the competency, we have a 4-tier learning system. So any technician who joins have to go through some mandatory training programs to start with. We call them as learner category. Then we have performer, then we have expert, and then we have masters. So the 4 category programs. So today we talk about, we close around 7,000 technicians who are directly attending the vehicle, and another 7,000 plus would be these helpers or supporting technicians. Out of the 7,000 technicians, we have 30% of them on the learning phase, and balance 70% are in either performers or experts or masters. So the competency development is a continuous journey. And what we have recently done also, we have stepped down to another level to make it even more local. So there are micro learning centers, training centers, large dealerships like this, where they have their own branches of 3 to 4. They employ around 85 to 100 plus technicians. So we have rolled in their own facilities there. We call it Gurukul, where we have set up very miniature setup of the training center with all the training aggregates, construction models, working models, and we give the training content, and that's where we develop the local competency here. And constantly we keep upskilling these people on the newer technology. We have full range now, CNG, LNG, electric, diesel. Right. So all ranges. That is very complex. With BS6 coming in, a lot of technology also come in. We have to keep them always training on the diagnostic front.
Absolutely.
And however, we also have a backup system where we have, as part of our industry first uptime center, there is a very clear area which is allocated for taking care of the technician regular training, over the shoulder coaching, what we call it. So there we ensure that no vehicle is stranded for want of technical knowledge.
Right.
So we have moved from the stage where the dependence on an individual technician is so high, then we are wasting time of somebody else's productive time. So we decided that we will have the collective wisdom. We have the uptime center. The technicians are encouraged, if they are not able to fix the vehicle quickly, they have the capability to reach directly to the uptime center, where we guide them step by step. So the collective wisdom of how to fix a truck is important more than getting the training and giving the time to do the trial and error. So I think that's helping us.
And do you also reach out to the roadside mechanics for any kind of training? Is that also a part of the process?
It is part of our process. Always we have been doing this because they are necessary a part of our ecosystem. It's a secondary. Many times the post-warranty vehicles also tend to go there. At the end of the day, Eicher is stuck as Eicher customer. So he's our own customer. So why would we allow him to have a bad experience anywhere in the market? So we do have trained technicians available in the market. We have the parts retailers who are also attached to the ecosystem. So we constantly train. The training vans I talked about is also coming handy.
Okay.
We have also gone recent times post BS6. We also extended this diagnostic the capabilities to some of the technicians, especially on the main highways, large markets, where we also identified technicians. Dealers themselves identify these are the technicians who are also in the peripheral network. So we train them, we give them the diagnostic equipment also. Sometimes they come in very helpful in terms of attending a breakdown where we are not able to reach on time.
Okay.
So we sometimes use their help to put the vehicle quickly, and then we will take care of the permanent fix of that.
Ramesh, you spoke about the uptime center, and that has been a great help to the transporters on one hand. How do you integrate that with the dealer network to make sure that everybody's in sync?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. You were the first one to start this uptime center way back in 2019, and the idea was to bring a connected ecosystem. So as you would be aware, all our dealerships are fully 100% connected to us. Now since 2020, we have been selling only connected vehicles with 2-year mandatory subscription. And the uptime center is connected to the dealership, and the 800 plus mobile service vans, which are part of the dealer norms itself, they are also connected through GPS. So we operate in a very, very connected system, and where we have full transparency of where is the vehicle, where is a vehicle having a problem, and the dealerships are connected. So the uptime center hosts various services, right from the 24/7 roadside assistance, which we call the Eicher on-road service, EOS. So that's one fundamental thing where customers can reach out, and we speak 8 languages and give the comfort to driver that we speak the language. So it's a very clearly layered, escalated system there, where within 15 minutes somebody has to call up the customer. So that's one part of it. The second part of it is we support which is called as case management system. Dealerships, when there's a problem in the dealership, they are not able to fix the vehicle problem. So the technician can directly call back to the uptime center. So we kind of take over that case, and we ensure that vehicles are put back on road. So we assist them in terms of guided troubleshooting, and we do this. Third area is we have tied up with a lot of vendors. For example, there are starter motors, there are batteries, there are some vendor related items, and which the OE suppliers themselves have their own network to support. Specialized jobs like turbochargers. So when you have the tie-up there, we tied up with those vendors on a SLA basis, where if any turbocharger has to be fixed, and they give us with the support of road unit, they will put the vehicle back on road. Meanwhile, we also agreed on certain timelines with them. So the vendor management also is another part of the uptime center.
Okay.
Then the fourth big piece is the predictive maintenance. Since we had the connected vehicle ecosystem since 2020, and give or take, today we have close to 185,000 plus trucks are connected all the time with us, and we get very insightful data. So where we have worked out algorithms where we are able to predict many of the defects which can come. For example, your V belt is slipping, the engine oil, engine temperature going high, your engine oil temperature is going high, or coolant is dropping, or the diesel exhaust fluid levels are dropping. So we are able to predict given these conditions, this is likely to have a breakdown. Could be a safety related topic, could be performance. So we have 3 categories: stop now, and we have visit soon, and then we have do it yourself. So under 3 categories is a very, very established program we have, where we are able to, with a lot of confidence, we are able to say that this vehicle will have a problem in the short term if it's not stopped. So we encourage the drivers, we call up them on the wheels, or the fleet manager, or the customer to stop the vehicle, and we dispatch our service vans to fix the vehicle.
Okay.
Because when I have the advantage of seeing what is likely to fail, I have the wherewithal to send the service van with the right part and technician to fix it also. Absolutely. So that's been much appreciated, and that helps us to get us productive. We do average close to around 1,000 plus calls, which we are able to avert failures, major failures. Otherwise could have led to a major engine failure or something like that. That's something. First time in the industry, we have launched something called crash alert in that case. So crash alert is when the vehicle has met with an unfortunate incident, they have an accident or something. So we would be the first ones to know, even before the driver could even call back to the owner. So we are tied up end to end. So we call the driver on the wheel, and we also inform the fleet manager and the customer.
Okay.
We also are tied up with the NHA ambulance services for any first aid requirement. We tied up with towing agencies. We tied up with the nearest dealer and the insurance company. So idea is to help customer in that point in time, which is very critical for them. So taking care of the driver's well-being, at the same time also enabling the entire things to ensure that the vehicle is uptime is put back on road.
Right.
So these are some of the initiatives in Uptime Center. We take care of this.
Ramesh, we see a wonderful dealership here. A lot of investment has gone in. But at the same time, with truck technology getting better, the number of time a truck has to come into a service center has really gone down, maybe once a year, 100,000 kilometers. How do you make the dealer viable?
Oh, we have a slightly different situation now. This question was valid maybe a few years back. Like we talk about the utilization of trucks. Despite the fact that we have constantly worked on technological advancement of pushing the service intervals away from 20,000 to 1,20,000 plus, the vehicle running has gone up significantly. If our own record says, since we have tracking the vehicles now with the connected, we have seen 20 to 25% higher run per year. So there are e-commerce applications to specifically say they run 200,000 plus in a year. That's a lot of running. That's a lot of running. And in earlier days, the average running, whatever assumption we used to make, around 60 to 70,000 for heavy duty trucks, and light duty will be much lower than that. Today we have 100,000 is very normal. 200,000 e-commerce segments running. So more they run, more they will need attention of these patient cycles. That is one. A second big reason is with PS6, the technology complexity also has gone up significantly, and the warranty periods are longer these days. Most of the trucks are coming with annual maintenance contracts. So these are all kind of driving the volumes into the dealership network. So dealership network, I would say that we have expanded as much because of the need. At the same time, there is a lot of it's a viable proposition to have it, and the kind of investment is there. We are very functional as a format. So we are extremely functional, though the setup looks extremely nice and look good. But the idea is that we maximize the utilization of space. Same time, the layout of the workshop setups also are like that. It kind of encourages easy flow of business. So as you would see here, you have one-way exit, one-way entry, clearly zoned, demarcated zones. You have quick repair base. So the right jobs are started there. And a lot of dealerships are working now 24/7. Close to around 85 setups are now working 24/7 throughout the year.
Okay.
And there are many dealerships which are running 2 shifts operation. So we are, as a business, if you look at it, thanks to the good running of vehicle and maintenance practices by customers, also are clearly realizing that as long as we operate a good maintenance competitive cost and the vehicles are turned around much faster, there is no choice for why would the customer has a choice. So if we offer everything what a customer looks at, time, cost, and the speed of turnaround, that is helping. So viability, I would say this is a little bit of a different challenge. Now we have a happy problem that we have to debottleneck some of the workshops where the focus is now on capacity building. As I said, the setups are big, but how do we encourage more and more customers to utilize the facility? At the same time, we have now started the service reminder system, appointment system, where we are encouraging people to come on a little bit of even hours, and so that we are able to utilize the capacity. At the same time, customers also get a benefit of, timely attention.
Ramesh, have you seen an increase in the number of transporters opting for AMC now? Is there a rise there?
It is. We are seeing earlier days we used to have to hard sell on AMC. I think today it gives you peace of mind. Basically, there is a predictability in this case. Customers know that for next 5 or 6 years, this is what I'm ending up paying. So fuel is a variable. More they run, the driver charges might go up. But I think the maintenance cost is a function of how many kilometers they run. So there's a cost per kilometer concept. And customers would definitely love to have that because that gives them comfort. And today the network is connected, so the truck can go anywhere. It's a cashless AMC. So there is no issue of somebody has to carry cash for a major job.
Right.
So customers do have a convenience wherever they like. They can go and take a service. If they like a place which is convenient for them. So for example, many tractor customers, they would like to have a space where the highway shops are most preferred rather than getting into city. So they have a choice also, gives them the power to get it service anywhere. So and AMC also comes with a lot of uptime commitment to them. So that's something.
And I think AMCs become more affordable now than it was back in the day.
Yeah, it's a function of volumes. It's like insurance. The more the denominator, I think the cost gets evened out. So there's a benefit to everyone there. So that's working well. Of course, there are some challenges in terms of monitoring, managing the whole AMC, because complexity goes up beyond a point. You don't want to replace something which is not required to be replaced.
Right.
So I think that's something which OEMs, we manage that effectively. Point is, for dealers, there is a steady inflow of vehicles, very predictable. For customer, is a clear win-win for them. They at definitely a competitive cost we are able to get. Most importantly, the predictability. What if they don't have an AMC, there is some major big repair comes up, that cost can be very high. So that could be a good insurance for them.
We will continue our interaction with Ramesh Rajagopalan next week, and also have Utkarsh taking us around the impressive facility that takes care of not just the vehicles but also the drivers. But before we end this episode, let's interact with Mr. Paras Agarwal and Utkarsh and know more about their journey and why they chose Eicher.
अग्रवाल जी, ट्रक रिलेटेड बिजनेस में आप कैसे आए? ये शुरुआत कहाँ से हुई इस जर्नी की?
See, ours is basically not a business class family. Way back in 94, my father took premature retirement from army, and we took the Eicher dealership in 94. And the very first year, we sold about 16 trucks in a year. And that time, a lot of financiers were not there. So out of those 16 which we sold in the first year, 10 we financed, self-finance we did. And that is how we started our journey with Eicher in 94. And we had a very small setup looking at the demand in that time. And gradually, when we increased the volume, we kept growing with the setups also. This is the fourth setup which we have presently. And we have always tried to be ahead of the competition in terms of giving the facility to the customers. And we'll show you around this facility also. So 94, when we started, when we sold 16 trucks in the first year, and then gradually today we are selling about 1,200 trucks a year. So that has been our very long journey with Eicher. And we have always tried to, keep the customers first. And that reflects from the setup which we have here in Agra, which is the biggest in the country. And we have tried to copy in all the facilities which we can give to our own staff as well as the customers, because the customers have also become very demanding nowadays. And we are trying to keep up with the pace which they expect us to, grow. So that is how we are growing actually with the company as well as with the customer desires and the customer satisfaction also.
Utkarsh, was joining the family business your first choice?
Not exactly. So I was in Australia. I worked there for 7 years. But when I came here, I worked with my dad for like a few months. Then I realized there's a lot of potential, especially in the CV industry. So market was rapidly growing. And then I decided to join family business. So we have other dealerships also. But I decided to join Eicher because that was one company where you learn a lot. So there's a lot of interaction with the management also. And then it's a very good growing company as well. So when I joined, we were doing almost 600 trucks. We've doubled our volume in last 5 years. Workshop business, we are doing 500 to 600 job cards. So when we moved to this setup, we have crossed 1,000 job cards a month. So we are having good growth with Eicher as well.
So you joined in a very good time.
Good time, yes. Except for the COVID part, which came in between. But
how do you manage during the COVID time? What were the challenges then?
So challenges were throughout the country, it was the same. All the setups were closed. But still, with whatever finances we had, we gave the staff the salary for those 2 months also. And first month we gave 50% of the total salary which they were given. A lot of people, they did not give any salary, to the staff. But we tried to do whatever best we could in the capacity which we had with us. So that is how we tried to manage whatever best we could do. But definitely everything was closed. So all the setups were closed.
Have any facility for drivers during that time?
During that time, we had a small facility, not big as we have now. But yes, definitely we had. But as the volume grew, so we grow with the, demanding the market. So earlier we had a facility for only 4 drivers to stay with in the facility. But now we have a facility where even 10, 15 drivers can stay in the night. So as the business is growing, we are growing with the facility.
Utkarsh, as a youngster joining the family basis, what inputs did you get? What changes did you get?
So the input which we got majorly from my dad is like, our customers are always our partners. They're not the one which we are selling the truck, because commercial industry is not such where a new customer will join in every second day. So it's a very small ecosystem. So we are basically partners with them. If we give them good uptime, good service, so they'll definitely come back to us. And that is one of the reasons why we are growing our market shares year on year. Literally like every year we've been growing. And
60% sale is almost repeat buying
repeat buying.
in the industry. So if you have a satisfied customer, 60% automatically comes back to you.
But how do you reach out to new customers? What is your plan there?
So we have a lot of referral sales also from the new customers, and the word of mouth is very small. Like people tell each other about how Eicher vehicle is performing, how many new setups we have in the entire country, the parts availability, and if you don't give the part in like 24, 48 hours, it's free. So these are the small parameters which customers tell each other. And there's a lot of interaction with financiers also. And financiers know when they finance an Eicher vehicle, their money is safe. So it's not going like the vehicle will not go off road. They'll get the monthly EMIs on time. So we have a lot of financial confidence also and financial leads as well.
But then on one hand, of course, a truck is important as a product. But when it comes to a sale of a new truck, how important is the dealer facility according to you?
Nowadays, I think it is 100% important to the customer because customer has really, the expectations of the customer have risen to a next level. So I think with the growing demand of the customer, you have to have in pace the requirement which he wants. He wants 24 hours workshop facility from you, which we are very soon we are doing it. 7 days a week that we have already done. Facility for their drivers to stay here, to have lunch or dinner here. So all those facilities we have to have because that is a demand which the customer have started demanding from us. So it is not anything which we are doing which they don't demand. It is just to keep in pace with the customer demand which we have, we have to improve in our facilities and all. So
it is often seen that the customer demands are always, beyond expectations or beyond what you can deliver. How do you cope with this?
no, sir, I think it is never that beyond the expectation. It is really what they really expect and we should deliver it. So we don't say that it is beyond the expectation which we are doing. It is only the expectation which we are trying to fulfill. And that is how we are winning the race of we are way ahead with the competition. If you see the figures, the sales figure, the market share which we enjoy in our territory, it is the highest. So I think we are keeping in pace with the expectation of the customer. It is not that he is very demanding, but actually whatever he is demanding from us, he has to demand because he really needs that. That is the need of the time.
How much is the support from Eicher in terms of setting up, in terms of spare parts, spraying? How much is the support from the OEMs there?
So like we are dealers for many other manufacturers also. It is not only that Eicher business we are doing. I think with all the other companies which I have and I'm dealing with, Eicher is the best. Because this is the only company where you can talk straight to the topmost management in the company, number one. Number two, the system which they have in place. If the problem is not resolved in X time in the bottom line, then it moves to the next level in next 24 hours, then next level. So the hierarchy which they have is extremely amazing. And that is what makes it a little different from the other players. That is why Eicher have also grown. Like I told you, the very first year in 94, we sold only 16 trucks in the whole year. And today we are selling 1200 trucks. So that is how we have grown. And that is how Eicher have also grown. The culture which Eicher has for the customers, for the dealer, amazing, excellent.
Any specific targets going forward in terms of numbers?
So this year we have already crossed 1300 units. With the TIV having a good surge, we're likely to close at 1600. And with the new addition of Pro X, our small commercial, we are planning like another 50 numbers should add up in next 2 months. In the workshop, we'll be hitting almost 18,000 job cards for our group this year. That is almost 2x growth for the workshop.
As a group, sir, we are touching almost 600 crores turnover this year. And out of those 600, I think 300 is Eicher business. So almost 50% of the total business which we are doing is Eicher business. So Eicher is very important for us.
Sir, is dealership a problem?
Yes, definitely. Otherwise, we would not have been in the... Because see, in business, when we are in a business, we are not here for charity. So in business, we are here to make money, and that is how we are growing with the company. We are making money. We are investing in the company. Mr. Vinod, he says whenever we meet, he says that I want that whatever you are earning from Eicher, 80% of that income you should reinvest in our business. 20% you take home for your expenses. 80% reinvest in our business so that is how you will also grow. And that is what exactly we are doing actually. Whatever we are earning from Eicher, 80% we try to invest in the same business.
That has truly been an exciting journey with utmost focus on service, of course backed by adequate support from the Eicher team. We will continue our interaction with Ramesh next week and also have Utkarsh take us around the dealership. You have been watching Trans India, Real People, Real Emotions. Make sure you watch the second episode of this feature next week, and until then, stay safe, and drive safe. Jai Hind.